Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to the BizVest question and answer session. Just want to confirm that I can be heard. Okay. Just want to be sure that my volume, the audio is fine. Can I get a wave? Okay, that's fine. Thanks. All right. So, good, perfect. So I'll be walking through a new product which BizNurture Financial Services is launching, putting out in the market. And this session is just to shed light on some of the things which has been designed as part of the reasons why we came out with this product, the value that it offers, and also to address whatever questions our clients and our users may have. So we're ready to start right now, but maybe I can just give another 1-2 minutes for us to have a few more people on the call. So we'll start in another 1 minute and walk through what we have for today. In the meantime, if there's any question which anyone on the call might have had in mind before now, please feel free to put it on, and we will provide all the answers to it right away. Okay, I think we can go ahead right now and set the ball rolling. So I'm sure you'll have seen some adverts on our websites talking about an upcoming product launch coming soon, something new coming. So the new thing that has been coming, that has been rolling, that has been cooking, let me say in the pot, is a subsidiary which is called BizVest. And BizVest is a savings, investments, loans, and advisory platform which was designed basically to help small and medium scale businesses as well as their owners grow wealth, ensure stability in their operations by virtue of having constant access to cash flow. Now, we've realized that to a very large extent, businesses struggle with having liquidity. And liquidity is a very key part of ensuring that things go on smoothly. There's this joke that we usually say in the accounting world that profit is an illusion, but cash flow is reality. So a business might say, I'm making profits, but if there's no cash to back it up, then it almost becomes nothing. So BizNurture Financial Services has been in operation for 5 years now. And during that period, we've served a wide range of businesses spanning different sectors of the economy. And one of the things which we have identified during that period, and also based on our professional affiliations and networking with different businesses, is some businesses are unable to take advantage of some opportunities just because they don't have the cash flow, just because they don't have the liquidity. Probably there is a huge promo going on for someone who sells clothes. And they said if you can get in and get maybe 500,000 worth of products, then we give you 40% discount. And the person looks into the account, they are unable to get that cash. But if they have somewhere where they've gradually accumulated that cash, then it helps them to just say, oh, I think I have some cash here. I could just quickly tap into this and quickly get on that cash. So that's one of the major reasons why this new subsidiary called BizVest was created, to help people gradually save money, to help people while also saving that money to be earning interest on it on a daily basis. And if there is any need in the future for them to have any emergency need, we have flexibilities around how people can always get that need. Some requires a 30-day planning, some requires just 15 days. And guess what? We also have some that you can just, at a snap of your finger, just get your funds within a couple of hours. So that's what BizVest is about, and that's what this session is about, to educate and to shed light on this service offering, and to welcome everyone on board to join us in what we're doing to help businesses become much more. Okay, so I'll just walk through the frequently asked questions which we have, and hopefully it addresses the questions and the information requirements which some of our current or potential clients might need. So, as I mentioned earlier on, the name of the platform is BizVest. It's a savings, investment, loans, and advisory platform designed to help businesses have access to liquidity as and when needed. It also has that opportunity for them to have loans, which means you can even borrow beyond what you've saved as an individual. And also, in addition, it also has advisory, because we've realized over the years that businesses need much more beyond money. They need someone to talk to, they need a coach, they need a mentor, but in most cases, they even need the community. Fellow business owners will also go through the same situation. So those are part of the things which we have in stock. So from our frequently asked questions, how do you create a profile? So you just go to our website, www.bizvest.co, and on the home page, you're going to see a link that allows you to register. Click on the link, and then you provide all the relevant details, and voila, you are good to go. So it's simple. It will take you just between 1 to 2 minutes, and it's made to be convenient. So you can access it via the desktop. You could also access it via your mobile. By sometime next year, it's our plan to have a fully developed app, which will be available on the iOS store as well as the Google Play Store. So what are the products and service offerings that we have? We have savings, which allows you to put money aside on a regular basis. We have investments. Currently, our investments are offered in Naira. In the very, very near future, we intend to also have USD investments. And we think this is very important due to the current devaluation which the Naira is experiencing. And we think people need to have that opportunity to hedge against currency devaluation. So we are in the early stages of experimenting with a platform we've signed up to, which allows us to actively manage a US dollar portfolio. So stay tuned, and that will be coming out very soon. We also have the wallets. We have lending services, which is getting a loan. And we also have advisory services, which is coming up soon. So I'll just quickly talk through what the differences are between the products. So for the savings products, it's a minimum of 1,000 Naira to start up the accounts and get it rolling. It allows you that access to either save one-off, or you can save on a recurring basis, which means you just automate it, and every month you could have your card being debited. And the other benefit it has is that we designed it to have liquidity requirements, which means you have a free withdrawal on the 14th and the 28th of each month. And why did we do this? Because we realized people usually have month-end needs, most times around the 30th of the month. So we figured out that, okay, if we put that free withdrawal by 28th, that allows people to withdraw that money and meet those needs between the 29th to 30th. We also had it in mind that after the 30th, people might also have some mid-month needs. So that's why we put in another free withdrawal day on the 14th. So you can withdraw funds either on the 14th or 28th of the month for free. Any other withdrawal outside of these days will come with a penalty, which will be at 2% of the principal amount being withdrawn. And we've had questions about why should we do this? Why should this be the case? The point is, for BizVest, it's designed to also create that savings culture. Like I said earlier on, it's supposed to be that platform where it's to be a defense for you against a future need that might arise. So if we give that access for people to just take it out on any day, then it defeats the purpose, because we are keen on seeing businesses prosper. We have seen how businesses are limited when they don't have access to liquidity, and that's what we want to fix. So with the savings products, it's 1,000 naira minimum at any point in time, and it earns a good interest of about 10% per annum, which by all means is a very, very decent returns, where you have your principal guaranteed. So that's our savings products, and you're free to top up your savings at any point in time. The next product is investments, and investments is gives a higher yield, and it gives a higher yield between 10 to 15%, which depends on the tenor, which depends on the amount you're putting in. So you could earn as much as 15%, you could earn 12. It's up to you to decide which amount you want to place it. And when you get to use the platform, there is a investment yield simulator, which allows you to put in a test amount, so that you can see that, oh, if I put in 200,000 for 2 months, this is what I earn. If I put in 100,000 for 3 months, this is what I earn. So we think this allows users to help plan their finances. So for the investment, it's a minimum of 50,000 naira at any point in time. And once you put all your details, you have the options of either transferring directly to the bank, or you have the access of using a payment gateway provider, which is Paystack, and you could have your card on it. So the investment is locked for the duration that you pick. So which means if you have something coming, maybe you want something coming up in December. So you just said, okay, I have this 50,000 naira now. So you could lock it for 30 days. And once it's 30 days, when it matures, you have that investment credited into your wallet. I'll speak briefly about the wallet after this. So that's the option that we have for investments. The USD option is coming up very soon. We're just in the early stages of testing the platforms that we'll be using to manage this. And right now, we're looking at something at a minimum at about 5% per annum, maybe a little higher. That details will come in very soon. And so we want you to stay tuned in that regard. Next to the investment is the wallet. So the wallet is a platform that allows you to keep your money and still earn interest at any point in time. So see the platform as your normal current or savings account. So which means there are times when, today is today's 22nd, you need some money on the 25th, which means you're looking at, what do I do with the money between 22 to 25? So that wallet is a platform where you could put in the money. For every night the money sits in the wallet, there is an interest that accrues on the account. When the 25th comes and you need your money, you just log on to the platform, you place your withdrawal request, and you get your funds accordingly. So it gives a lower interest, which is still by all means very good, which is 7%. And that's because we have to ensure that there is a liquidity available for you to get your funds when you need it. So that's why the interest is not as high as what we have on the savings and the investments. So those are the three core products which we have for now, which is the savings, the investment, as well as the wallet. Next to that is the loans. And the reason for the loan, I think it's quite strong, which is people should be able to leverage on other people's resources to grow their business. So far, those people will act with integrity and will honor their commitment to return the money. So that's why we have the loans product. So what the loan does is, for members who already have a savings, you can use 50% of. So if you want 100,000, you need to have a minimum of 50,000 as savings, which will serve as a collateral for that amount which you want to borrow. So that's the loans product. And for you to get on the loans product, you need to be an active saver for a minimum of 6 months. And this is in line with standard practice, where we want to get to understand you, we want to be able to profile you, because the borrowing rate is going to be a risk-based scoring system. So there are a lot of factors which we need to know, and we need that length of time to be able to judge to a fair extent that, oh, this is a fair pricing to give to this individual. So the loans will be coming up very soon. I'll speak a little more to it anytime from now. Let me just check if there is any question at the moment. Okay, I can see. Please feel free to post your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them accordingly. And to speak about withdrawals. So withdrawals for either the savings, withdrawal for savings, like I mentioned earlier, on the 14th and 28th of each month, it's free. Log onto the platform, click on withdraw. A withdrawal request is sent to the team, and someone in the team picks it up, and it's processed, and you get your funds. We try to ensure we do that within 2 to 6 hours in the day. So that's how it works. For the investment automatically matures into your wallet. And then when it gets into your wallet, you have the liberty to either withdraw immediately or reinvest. So if you think you don't want to go through the hassle of having to come to the platform to reinvest, we advise people to just simply do a recurring investment. So which means as it's maturing, you tell it to keep rolling over until you want to terminate it. And for the wallets, there isn't any limitation in terms of which day of the month you can withdraw. You can withdraw at any day of the month, but you can only make one withdrawal within 24 hours. So, and it's just to make sure there is proper, there's proper planning and liquidity management. Good. I hope it's been interesting so far. From the BizNurture team, it's with excitement that we share this product. We worked very hard, I would say. Kudos to the team for putting this together. And this was largely hatched last year. That was one of the great things we took out from the pandemic during the lockdown period, where we stepped back to say, okay, what can we do? What do we think is the greatest need that our users and business owners may have? By the way, this thought originally came up in 2018, but we put it on hold because we wanted to really master what we're doing with BizNurture, which is a flagship company. And we put it on hold. But when the pandemic struck, it was an eye-opener, because we had a lot of clients, a lot of users who were also stuck because inflows were not coming in and there was no backup for them. And that was where, as a team, it came back to life that, oh, I think we need to put this on the platform. We need to put it out. We need to help people build that discipline. Because here's the thing, businesses only become great because the owners put in structures, put in systems, put in a foundation. So we always want business owners to see savings as building a foundation for yourself. And if you want to go high, the higher your building size is supposed to be, the deeper your foundation needs to be. So which means you want to build a 20-story building, you need to take time to build a 20-story or a solid foundation that will carry that building. And that's what BizVest is all about. Our tagline is empowering businesses to become much more. Becoming much more means you extend beyond your current reach to do what your resources alone cannot have you do. And here is it. You start with point 1 with a little amount of what you save per day. As you save every day, interest accumulates on that money on a daily basis. And gradually it means what you started with on day 1 is growing. As it grows on a daily basis, you build a record for up to like 6 months. We also say, hey, we want to give you a top up on what you've built. You can also borrow 2 times what you have in that savings and leverage it as a loan to help you meet whatever need you get. And as you meet that need, you repay your loan. It helps your credit score because you now build a relationship with us. Oh, we say Mr. A, Mrs. A has borrowed something for about 3 months. She always paid just in time. So the next time we want to give a loan, the system looks at it. Oh, rather than give a loan at 4.5%, because she did well with the other loans, maybe we should cut it down to 4.25%. So that's how you can and you should become more. And that's the core, that's the focus, that's the main reason behind BizVest. Okay, so I would go on to the loans. So the loans we typically offer short-term loans, LPO financing, invoice discounting, and working capital finance. So those are the core flagship products which BizNurture Financial Services also offers. So this also extends into the cooperative, and subject to what needs that you have, we're able to meet up to that. Okay, so I could see a question. It says, please, is BizVest licensed? How do we know our money is safe? Yeah, it is safe. So I think I'm almost done with this loan. So I'm going to get into that security now. So just give me 1 minute and I'll be there. So in terms of the loan requirements, just basic eligibility, being in operations for 2 years or more, and there would be a detailed form questionnaire which you have to fill. Once we assess that and we think it meets up the requirements, processing will be done as fast as possible. Normally, if all documentation and everything is intact, within a week, we should be able to move towards having the firm offer, and then the loan gets on. Okay, so I'm going to just jump up to the question that has come in terms of, is BizVest licensed and how do we know our money is safe? Yes, BizVest has a regulatory cover which is with the cooperative societies. Now, that's the reason why earlier on we couldn't do this with a flagship company, which is BizNurture, because as an entity, we cannot mobilize funds from individuals. So the cooperative license is a very unique and multifaceted license. So we have the multi-purpose credit and thrift society license with the Rivers State government. By law, cooperative license is governed by respective states. BizNurture started in Rivers State, and we ought to just establish that in where we started as Biz. But everyone anywhere can always use and log onto the platform. So in terms of regulatory cover, it is regulated by by the cooperative laws governed by Rivers State. And what that does is you have ministry officials who actively monitor the activities of the cooperative. Before the cooperative was even registered and given license, we had to submit profiles of the floaters or the promoters of the cooperative, where they review and they check to say, oh, is this person credible enough to be able to mobilize funds from people? Now, by that license, we are also required to submit annual returns to that body. Annual returns being your full financial statements. You're also supposed to submit minutes of annual general meetings, which all cooperative members are entitled to. And they review things, and if anything looks hanky-panky, an investigation could be called and a sanction could be given. Now, the biggest comfort it even gives to individuals is if by any means we do wrong, individuals, members can approach that body and report any allegation that we have. So it remains an allegation until proven whether it's true or not. And the body will call for an investigation, and subject to what comes out of the investigation, they can take any judgment or actions that is required. Now, in terms of possible judgment or actions that can come, it's as far as losing our license, is as far as getting our accounts blocked, is as far as not being able to operate again if we don't do the right thing. And the benefit it gives to the user, to you, is it's as far as getting your money back. Because basically it's like, it's almost similar to what happens with the banks, where there is NDIC, which is a Deposit Insurance Corporation, which means if the bank goes bad, the NDIC takes over the assets, and subject to whatever asset that it has, it can distribute it to those who have been depositors. So that is the recourse which members have. So given all the work we've put into this, given our personal profiles, given the entire board of directors of BizNurture, it's not a route that we want to go through. Because here's the thing, if at all we get into that route where we have a license suspended, then it becomes extremely difficult to even get another license in the country. So That's the safety that we have in terms of people being assured that, oh, okay, I'm sure that these guys have someone I can report to, because that's the key thing about ensuring that things are done in order. The reasons why most of us do not go to commit a crime is because we know that if we are caught, there's an implication. So there is an implication for us not to honor our word. There is an implication for us not to honor what we are selling to you. So that's one. The other part which also gives assurance of the funds is the issue of BizNurture itself. BizNurture Financial Services has been in existence for 5 years. We have that track record. The founders, the executive management team, we have strong people who have a good pedigree of what they've done. And by virtue of building a corporate governance system, we have a very strong corporate governance system. Corporate governance is basically making sure, and it starts with segregation of duties. Someone cannot start a transaction and end the transaction. Corporate governance is, I cannot wake up today and say, hey, accountant, transfer 200,000 to my account. It can't, because things has to go through an approval. Approval does not start with one person. For any single transaction, at least at the minimum, we have about 4 persons being involved. And it's extremely difficult to begin to compromise 4 persons all at once. So we have that in place. Corporate governance for BizNurture as an entity, quarterly board meetings. We have due board oversight. Each year, having external auditors look into the books, and the external auditors, as you know, they are not accountable to the executive directors. They are accountable to the shareholders and to the entire board of directors. So whether I want to hide something, the external auditor, it doesn't have to budge to us. They would disclose that, oh, these people have not run the business properly. So those are things which is in line with best practices, and we put in place to ensure that things are done in a very proper manner. But beyond that is really, what do we do with the funds? How do we deal with it? How do we ensure that these funds are used properly? So internally, we have a very robust, and I'll call it best practice portfolio and risk management experience. And what we've done is we've done risk profiling across different parameters. To just for highlight, majorly like about 3 pools of asset classes where we put in funds. We have like an A class, a B class, and a C class. A class would be where we have CBN licensed entities, where we place funds with counterparties who also have CBN watching over them. We have another category where we deal with SEC licensed entities, where we place funds with counterparties which have the Securities and Exchange Commission watching over what they do. So we are also relying on those people, the counterparty risk, and the regulatory cover they have to ensure that we're covered. We also have a pool where we deal with collateralized loan obligations, which is similar to what we do, what BizVest loan would be, where people can borrow based on certain collaterals. So overall, at the moment, we have about 10 counterparties that we have accounts with, and funds that we have is spread according to our internal risk profile across these counterparties. And we think that's diverse enough, because in risk management, they talk about what you call business risk. Business risk exists because you do business in an environment. One of the things you can do to mitigate it is to diversify. So we're taking that diversification approach to say, oh, what if one of our counterparties goes down? No, BizVest will not go down, because we've diversified as much as possible. And this is constantly reviewed. On a weekly basis, the executive management meets, internal reports are sent. There are indicators where something is showing a green, something is showing a red and amber. So things are easily flagged, and that is properly handled. So I could see question, who are the people behind the BizVest? BizVest is promoted by BizNurture Financial Services, www.biznurture.com. And I am a director in BizNurture Financial Services. I oversee finance, investor relations, treasury, as well as BizVest, and I also oversee the innovation part of the business. We also have, for BizNurture Financial Services, there are also 2 other co-founders. Okpero Bayemi is our CIOO, and he oversees corporate strategy, human resources, IT, and also general operations. And we have the CEO of BizNurture, that's Ife Bitokun. So she oversees everything across the business, overall business development, marketing, legal, corporate governance, which is a big advocate of. And so that's the structure we have from an exco perspective. And we also have non-executive directors we're accountable to. Chairman of our board is Chidima Lawensin. She's diverse experience in finance, and work with IFC, MasterCard Foundation, very strong on corporate governance and integrity. We also have Obina Nwosu, who is a non-executive director as well. Obina Nwosu was an ex-deputy managing director of Access Bank. And when we have people like that on board, it brings a lot of accountability to us. Board meetings are no joke. We fix meetings for certain days. Meetings start at that time. We delve into issues. All questions can be asked. Nothing is off the table. Proper accountability for actions that needs to be done, and we're held accountable. Beyond that, we also have advisory board members, people who normally would have been board members, but because of some other commitment and other size of engagement, they cannot. And they hold us accountable from time to time on what we do. So that's from the perspective of answering the questions about the people behind BizVest. But beyond that is that BizVest is not just going to be BizNurture that I've talked about. It's going to be you. Because once you come in as a member, and there is that pathway to members eventually becoming shareholders, because that's the real power of BizVest, where no, it's not just some people that started it. It's going to be a we thing where you are also going to be a part of the game. And that's the goal. We want to get people into the game because we think wealth can be grown, wealth can be shared, and for people who meet the qualification criteria. And it's a relationship thing. You join the platform. By the time we open up our membership, basic get to know you forms will be sent, and we could see, okay, yes, this should be a part member. And members are members. Members buy shares also in the cooperative, and members can decide who leads and who operates the cooperative. Okay, let me see. I think I've answered that question. How do you know your money is safe? Yeah, I've talked about that. Why should I leave my other investment platforms and join BizVest? Good question. So, and I'll go back into why exactly we set this up. And to answer that question, I'll get to say, I don't think there's any one platform that provides all of the things which someone might need. And because needs also vary per time. But I'll tell you one thing that I think, a few reasons why I think you should leave other investment platforms to join BizVest. And it might not necessarily be leaving. It might just be taking part of what you have and just diversifying. So we understand that that's how the game is. So we don't necessarily say, oh, go and close all your accounts and join BizVest. What we just say is that you can just give BizVest a try. Put in your first 1,000, 2,000, see how we do, see whether we honor the words that we've said we're going to do. And if we do you well, we think we've earned that right to say, oh, maybe you should bring in a larger percentage. So first off, the returns we give, the returns are decent enough in terms of money market returns. I've heard people say, oh, why don't we give more? But we say there is a balance between risk and reward. If people want much more rewards higher than what we give, we just get to educate them that they are taking a higher risk. One thing we don't want is someone clicks on the platform, you want your money, then we say, oh, it's like where we put the money, we can't find it, blah, blah, blah. No. So the compromise we have to take in terms of that is to put it in somewhere that is safe but gives returns. The savings gives 10%, which I think is very good. That's currently above what you will get in terms of general money market rates. Our investment gives as much as 15%. Depending on the band that you get to. And like I mentioned earlier, when you simulate it after creating your account, you will see the exact amount and see where you're falling on the band. So I think the returns is also good enough. One of the very good things it also has is our wallet. And I think our wallet's future is an extremely well thought of future. Because we brought up that future from a place of fixing pain, which some clients may have. We brought up that future from a perspective of ensuring that there is no loss in value. Because like I gave an example earlier on, which I'll mention again, which means you have a need for funds on the 30th of the month. And today is the 22nd. you're just saying, oh, if I put this in investment is locked for 30 days. I can't, it won't allow me meet my need. So what our wallet does is that you could put that funds in your wallet, and with an annual interest rate of 7%, you earn something for every night that the money sits in your account. That's a very unique feature which not all platforms have. A lot of platforms have that ability that you can withdraw maybe once, twice a month, some once in 2 months, some once a month. But just a few offer that ability for you to put your money really like a savings account, and by tomorrow you can get it out. And it's like having the best of both worlds. You have access to your funds when needed, and you also get interest on it. And that interest at 7%, I think it's a no-brainer for consideration. So that's one very key reasons why I think someone should consider leaving other platforms to join BizVest. And in the near future, BizVest, and when I say near future, this is as soon as Q1 2022, where we'll be experimenting the exact form with which to launch a unique platform. So there is community where it's just beyond you saving. It's also having access to other people. It's being able to interact on within a closed group community. It's also that ability to have someone that you could talk to when stranded. So when I say stranded, during the customer service week, when we had discussions with clients, we had to remind those we spoke to that once in a quarter, you can feel free to knock on our door and say, I just want a 15-minute chat, maybe with your CFO. I just want someone to just talk to you about my finance. We think that's the least that we can do. And it's still a manageable size where we can conveniently have those sessions and give advice to people. So for a 15-minute session, you wouldn't pay to have access to that. If you want something more, we have an advisory services where one could work out what works and have like a proper contract. But we realize that having like that little session does a lot to help people meet whatever needs that they have. It might just be just a challenge which, based on an experience we had with someone, why don't you do this way? So we are very big on community because we understand that we need each other. We're also very big on advisory. Again, businesses need beyond money. Businesses need, it might just be just one experience which within our team we've pulled together that just helps you go past that challenge that you might have had. Okay, so I think I've been able to tell you why you should leave. And like I said, we also understand that leaving might not be just instantaneous as packing all your money and coming over to us. But just start with opening the accounts, start with putting something which you feel comfortable with, and watch as we honor what we've said we're going to do, and feel free to put much more. We like to do, our marketing approach is moderate because we don't think it should be aggressive because you are parting with your money and it's your hard-earned money, right? So you should carefully think about it. Our duty is to educate. Our duty is to let you know what we have. Our duty is to just let you know why we think you should get into this game with us. And give us a trial. See us do what we said we're going to do. And once we do that, we'll please ask of you to also refer us to your friends and people within your network. Okay. So there's a question, when am I going to qualify to access loan from BizVest and what is the cap? So you can qualify to access loans once you have a 6-month relationship with us. The core reason for this is pricing is risk-based. And for us to carefully understand you as a person, we think we need to have that relationship. We think we need to be able to see how your traction has been over the last 6 months and then be able to say, okay, now you can get a loan. Because we are also giving you that money from what other people have saved. So we have that obligation on our part to ensure that we carefully select who we give. So it's 6 months at a minimum to qualify. And in terms of the cap, at the moment the cap is 5 million naira, which means you need to have savings of like 2.5 million naira to access 5 million naira. And the minimum would be 500,000. So which means once you have the savings of 250,000, you can access a loan of as much as 500,000. So that's that. Okay. Let me see if there's any other thing which I need to address in terms of the frequently asked questions. So yeah, I've talked about the loans. Security is your savings, and of course, we also need to have minimum of two guarantors. And interest rate currently looking to range between 3% to 6% per month, and that's going to be risk based. So which means if someone has kept very good records, has good records with credit bureau, has saved consistently, we can see the business you're doing, we can see the viability of those things, the person will definitely get a lower rate compared to someone who hasn't done as much. And that's what we do in terms of the community building, the communications with Central through our blogs and through our social media, is to gradually, it's like giving you expo. That for you to get a loan, you need to have things in order. So we try to educate people with those things such that when people imbibe all those things, it makes it easier for them to qualify for a loan when they need it. Okay, I think that's just about that. And also to answer one of the questions in terms of why should you join, we are coming up with a USD products, and personally I'm very excited about that. So it's a USD edged product. So let me put it very well in perspective, where you could get into the investment at specific dollar amount, and by the time you want to exit, you exit at the rolling market rate at that particular time. And given the historical movement of the naira, unfortunately we haven't seen it appreciate. So which means if you get into the investment when naira is at 450 to $1 and it exits today when it's about 560 thereabout, it means you've protected your money from devaluation to the extent of 450 to 560. So we think this is also an essential part of building wealth for individuals and businesses. Even more importantly, for business owners who have to import, where they always they buy something at some point. By the time they get it in, they've lost so much in exchange rate. It allows you as a way to gradually build that income. So we're currently experimenting with that because we need to properly test and be sure we have everything in order. We already have signed up to counterparties who would help us deliver that offering to clients. So that's an exciting thing coming on board, and we do hope you will be among the first to join when that comes up. Okay, so that's the overview of the frequently asked questions for BizVest, and I'll check if we have any more questions. I do hope I've answered. Yeah, I've gone through all the questions I can see. If there's any more questions, there's still some more time for us to put it on. And yes. So just to recap again, BizVest, we were set up to provide savings, investments, and loans products to business owners because we think it's a key part of providing liquidity to them. And providing that liquidity means those businesses can meet up to their operational needs. They can deliver on contracts. They can buy supplies. They can have access to getting things on discount. And they can do a whole lot much more. We also believe it's that opportunity for them to grow that savings culture, which we think is extremely important. The pandemic really taught us how important that is and why people should have that as a consistent habit. Saving 8,000 naira every week, 52 weeks a year, it means at the end of the year you have 52,000, and that's a lot. It might look small, but what really matters is having that consistency, and that's what we think we bring on board as a body to help you be that platform where that can be done. So on that note, I'd like to appreciate everyone for joining. We really do appreciate taking time out this afternoon to join us. So in the absence of any other questions, we're going to sign out and look forward to having those of us who haven't joined to log on to www.bizvest.co to create your accounts and give it a try. And like I said, if we do you well, we encourage you to also refer us to other people. And if for any reasons we don't meet any of your expectations, we are very, very open to feedback. We will take any feedback that comes our way. We will address it, and we will always improve where we do not meet up to expectation. So, BizVest, empowering businesses to become much more. Thanks again for your time, and do have a great weekend ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.